Welcome back.
So Roy finished up his amazing journal cover here. And what did you add?
I added the bats, and then I also had some areas that were open. So I put in this piece of grasses, but they're upside down to go with the bats.
Oh,
and I have this prickly pear. And you pointed out that I'd forgotten all the birds that I cut out, so I put those down. And this little guy, and I wanted to include Izimbra in that one. And then if you turn it around, I also added this Oriole.
Oh,
right
and
here.
you know what? 3 circles like this is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's again that sort of even odd number.
Yeah, so then I bend it, right? You want to make sure
that it can bend.
All the creases, right, are working.
Yeah. You're looking good. Whoa.
And I'm not too worried about all these little guys sticking off. And then you've taken your contact paper, right?
So this is the contact paper. And basically what this is it's a giant sticker. Right? So it's like a clear sticker. And it has all these guidelines on the back, which is really nice because you can see how things are straight.
Right.
So it can really help you to make straight cuts. And you can just measure, and basically we're going to use 2 pieces. So go for it. Our first piece
is on the inside, right? You had said we cut out a piece that's just the inside of the cover.
And it's actually slightly smaller. Yeah. You could cut it right up to the edge, but what's better is if it comes in just a little bit, like I would say 1/4 of an inch, which is approximately the height of one singular green pea. One pencil width, or really close to it. That's a really good measuring tool. Yeah. But what you could do is lay your book out and line it up to a corner. So where one line goes vertically and one line goes horizontally. One line goes up and down and one line goes left to right. And you could line those up and you could mark them. So,
but you want it to be less.
But if you mark it at how big it is, then you could cut less.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll
So you're just using a pencil and marking how big.
And I'm moving my hand around from area to area so that it doesn't slip on me.
Yeah, to keep that weight here. You could even have another person hold the book down so it doesn't move while you're doing that. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely there.
Oh, right there.
And then you're just going to want to cut on the inside of that by about 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, and if you want, you can mark it.
If you have a nice steady hand.
Sure, but you can also use a ruler if you want to. It's not really important how straight it is.
No. It goes flat on the inside, so we're going to take this first piece and we're going to take the backing off and we're going to put it down nice and flat over this. And then we're going to cut a bigger piece for the front, just like Roy did with this. Just like the cover. Yeah, you can have the scissors. And we're going to wrap it around so that when you open up your book, everything's totally sealed. And the top even has one piece with another piece wrapped around it. Okay, so you're just cutting.
I'm cutting, but I realize right now that I could have done a bigger cut, which is over the line, just to get rid of all of this.
Oh, the extra. Yeah, this stuff is, it's a little bit wild. It wants to curl.
So I'm going to bend this back a little bit, but not too much.
Okay, yeah.
And now cut this.
Nice.
There. And this line. And I'm not trying to do big, huge cuts.
No.
Or also really tiny cuts. And going right in the middle. And you will always cut better if you cut towards the back of the scissor.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot more control
Look at this.
over it.
This is kind of a crazy piece.
Yeah.
It really does want to roll up on you.
It does.
This is why it's easier to do this with a friend.
Yeah.
Do this with a buddy. Yeah. Okay.
And so now,
what are we going to do?
This is the outside of it. So that's going to go down like this, right?
Yeah.
So then it wants to curl this way. So I'm going to turn it around and roll it.
Oh, so that it lays a little bit more flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all these little wrinkles, they don't matter a whole lot. You don't want to really wrinkle it, but just enough.
The other thing I was going to say is if you're working with somebody, you can practice what you're going to do before you do it. Right?
Yes.
So you can say, okay, we're going to take this off and I'm going to hold the whole thing. Or you're going to hold the whole thing.
Do you want to do the top or the side?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking we could do it one of two ways. We can take the whole sticker off and one of us can hold it.
Okay.
Or we could take the sticker off a little bit at a time and peel it. That's probably the better way to do it.
I think so.
Yeah.
And what I would say is that maybe the long side is a little bit harder to do. So maybe do the short side and then pull out the sticker this way.
Okay.
Do you think it would be better the other
I'm
way?
just thinking about the binding in the middle, the spine, and like laying down this part in here versus going that direction.
Well, we're going in this way. And that way.
Okay, let's try it. We're gonna try it. Roy and I have worked together long enough to know that if it doesn't work, we'll figure out another way. And I've already done it this way, and I actually did it by myself. And I used the book as my buddy. And so I just got the corner of this going. So you can see it here. And we're going to start to pull it off here. So we're going to pull the whole top part off here. And then, what are we going to do?
Fold this
there
back,
we
right?
go. We're going to fold it back. And we're going to line this up.
I'm going to let you place it.
Yeah, I'm going to place this. And I'm going to set it down. And basically, I'm going to use, you can either use the tops of your fingers or the side of your hand, or you can use another tool like a credit card. And
or a spoon or the side of the tape.
Or the side of the tape. And you're just going to go boom, boom, across, across, across. And see how Roy's pulling as I'm setting this down? There we go. There we go. There we go. And then we should have this nice flat, oh yeah, you were right, that's the way it should go. Now this feels like a library book again.
It does. And then what you want to do is maybe with your hand, or again if you have a spoon, or I like doing this sometimes.
Oh, with the tape? Interesting. The other thing I've seen you do before is the back side of the scissors, the handle of the scissors.
I have, yeah. Sometimes I'll use this, but
it's
you don't
dangerous.
always want to hold the sharp end.
Especially with a buddy.
Yeah, so it's better if you put your scissors to the side, and you can do this, but you can also just use your hand.
Yeah, that's good. That works really well. That looks really nice.
Right? It looks really professional. All right, so now we use the rest of our contact paper that's over there.
Oh, I have the other piece. I have the big piece here.
So now we're going to do the same thing.
And I'm going to set it down this way so we have the lines. There we go.
Right, and what I would suggest, right, is you don't want to lay it down this way because then you have all this extra right here that maybe you don't use. So maybe you could get another book out of this.
Easily.
Right, so I'm going to put it horizontally.
Yeah.
Right, like this.
Matching up the long side here with this side. And
down here, we've already done this cut. So I'm just going to line it up here, and I'm not going to cut any extra right here.
Exactly, because we want about 2 of these squares.
Which I think is an inch, right?
It must be very close to an
I think
inch. It is. Yeah. So you want 1 inch of contact paper all the way around.
And here's an example. Maybe you have something like this.
That's a ruler.
It's a ruler. But maybe you have a painting stick.
Oh, okay,
right?
sure. Maybe you have a paint stick.
So I'm going to use the width of the ruler itself or paint stick. And I'm going to use it. So instead of trying to measure, I just use it as a guide.
Yeah, you're just using the width as the measurement.
And this is where your buddy can hold it down so that it doesn't
move.
slip.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then maybe here, I hold it down and you do that
And then
side.
we do this side so you're not reaching over somebody. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
So now we have the extra, right?
Yep, we have all the extra. So we're going to cut that, and then we're also going to cut those little notches when we have it set down. And you know what I'm thinking is if you cut the notches, you could leave this backer on in those areas. I wonder if that would work, if we could like remove the big space first.
Maybe, but we have to cut the paper.
Oh yeah, I don't think that will work.
That's a little bit tricky.
It does get a little bit tricky.
But we'll just work with what we got. And you did it by yourself.
I did.
We've actually never done this together.
Yeah, that's true.
I've done this by myself too. So we're
I'm
figuring out
having
our
a
plan
flashback right now. I'm having this memory from when I was little, and we used to do something very similar to this, but we were making placemats.
Oh, nice.
And we were using the contact paper, and we would like collage, and
then you have a full placemat.
then you have a full placemat that can be like
really
wiped
fun.
down. Yeah, that is really fun. I haven't thought about that in a long time.
All right, so there we go.
Okay. So I think we should do the same thing we did before, right?
Yeah, and one thing that I forgot to do, so it's okay to go back now, is I'm putting it back where it was. And what we should do
is mark the corners.
Yeah, and just draw around
the book itself.
And actually, if you do that the first time, then you can just place this and mark the outside.
Yeah.
So then right here, we know where this crease is. And so we're going to mark that right there and right there.
And we know where the corners are.
We know where the corners are. And what you want to do is you want to come in a little bit. You don't want it to be perfectly straight out, right? A little bit.
Oh, just curved slightly, not even curved.
It tapers in a little
tapered.
bit. Yeah.
What's another? It's like
a
a slightly wider angle.
Yeah. So the same thing over here. Let's see. Well, you can actually take your cover off at this point, and then I mark that there and there. Right there. And then these guys, these are like little triangles that you're cutting out.
And we're going to cut these out, right?
Yes, we're going to cut those out.
I think, too, once we cut one, I'm going to cut one really quickly. I just want everybody to see that shape, right? Because it's not quite a rectangle, right? It's almost closer to a diamond in the angle that you're making there.
Right, and then do you want to cut some of those out?
You can cut those out. You can cut those little thin triangles.
Oh. So I'm
back
going
of the scissors.
Back of the scissor, not
and
the
you know
end.
what? You should try the little scissors that came in the kit just to see how they work on the contact paper.
Yeah, let's try it out.
You can practice cutting a new material on a piece of scrap as well.
Those cut really well.
If you cut off this is too small for another book, but you could make a really fun bookmark out of this, and you could either make a skinny bookmark that's half the size of this so that it could fold over, Or what you could do is save another piece or cut one to match this out of your scrap that you're left with. And anytime we're cutting new materials, really, you do want to try out your scissors. Like we've been cutting fleece, which is a really soft fabric, and some scissors cut it really, really well, and other scissors that cut paper so beautifully don't cut the fabric the way that you want them to. And stuff like this can sometimes be weird.
So what I would say is here, we have these lines that we already made.
Okay.
So this would be a great place to make folds.
You're going to fold before we even take the contact paper backing off?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that way I know where it's going to go around the edge.
What if we just do one fold?
Oh, just so that we know.
Yeah,
that
just
one?
to get it started.
Okay.
Because we're still going to do the same method,
Right.
yeah? Okay.
So now what's going to happen here is this fold is going to go right there. Right?
Over the piece we've already laid down.
Over the piece we've already laid down, and then this area is going to go here.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks like it's going to match.
So actually,
you're going to fold both of those?
Just giving it a little bit of a guide.
Structure. Yeah, a little bit of a guide. Okay.
So then we have two ways, right? We can do it, take it off here and do this side first.
And then flip it
over. Flip this. And then flip it.
This is what I mean. You have to practice before you do it so that you have a plan, especially when you're working with a buddy. But even when you're working alone, you want to have a plan to get going. Okay, so I am trying to get this started here, and I'm having a difficult time because it's hard to get that little corner. Do you have any tricks? I just got it, but
sometimes I'll bend the paper back
a
little bit because the paper bends while the plastic of the sticker
stays put.
Wants to curve.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull just this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this part down over it, right? Oh yeah.
And you can let that itself just folding it up a little bit, and then you sort of push it against it, right? And you want to hit the sides.
Okay. So I'm taking the backs of my fingernails because they're really strong, and I'm holding here with my left hand, and then I'm running this here, and I'm just gonna put it over.
And
this
I,
way.
as your partner, I'm making sure that it's lined up over
all
here
the way
on this
around.
side,
you're checking
because
the
you're
edges.
paying attention to that side.
Because I was paying attention to this side. Okay, so then we're actually going to flip the whole book, right?
And I would say we do this,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So it's still on your side.
Is that true?
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to pull this.
Oh my goodness. I got turned around. Okay, so
that's why you don't want to rush it.
Let's get this going. I actually just pushed it down in a place where it's not right. So come back up a little bit. And I'm going to keep this here.
Super sticky. It's made so that you can pull it up
reposition it, yeah. Ooh, look what we have in there. A weird piece of dust. Now you're part of it. Oh, he was on my side.
Oh, okay.
The dust was on my side. Okay, here we go. I'm getting some weird little lines. I'm going to kind of work those out, make sure. And I'm going across. Ooh,
and then you want to get
in there. Yeah. Okay, go. Okay, tape over tape here. Keep pulling.
I hear
Did we get
some
stuck?
tearing, but that's okay.
No, it's paper tearing.
No, that's over here. The back of the,
no.
That's okay.
Okay, what do we do?
I think we just keep going. Because right now I can pull this up, and that, see, it came up.
But if you hear tearing, check and see what's going on,
See what it is.
Okay, and you're going a little bit fast for me.
Sorry. I'll slow down.
Yeah, come back.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. And I'm holding the other side of the book over by my body with my left hand.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see it here?
Yeah.
This is pretty strong there.
And all of these flaps are open, right? So when you
Mhm.
lift it up, I think if we lift from that side, because that's already wrapped
Oh yeah,
under,
we could do it this way, right?
yeah.
Could lift it towards
And you
this.
just do it very slowly and carefully.
Okay.
And I would say to come up with a plan, right? So I would think maybe that side.
Yeah, because you already did that side. So
Mhm.
opposites really
Mhm.
are a good starting point.
Mhm.
So I'm going to do this one and fold it. And
Okay.
I'm running my fingernails again against this back here. And then I'm pushing in
Mhm.
and just making it nice and flat there.
And
Okay.
then maybe the middle.
Oh, the middle's a good idea.
Right here. Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm pulling it up so that's hitting the edge
Mhm.
there.
And really pulling in nice and smoothly.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then
You wanna
I
do
think
those
this
sides?
one, and same thing. I'm just kind of running it along the edge. And then I got some bubbles here, and if you get a bubble, you can kind of work it to the edge with the back of your fingernail so that the air escapes out of the open side. Here we go.
Excuse me.
And then I'm going to pull this one. Oh, you know what? It's easier to pull down.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's much easier. So you could pull down, turn your whole book, and then pull down again if you like the feeling of that. Hey, you have a totally covered cover. You have a totally covered cover. This looks great. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see all the ones that everybody else is going to make. I hope that people will start posting them. And I know we still have to add pages into this, but it's so cool just as it is.
I mean, you could use this just for loose paper.
You could,
Right.
yeah.
Just as a folder.
You could even put an envelope in here, like
Mhm.
attach it. Uh-oh, you're
All right.
coughing. Then we have to say goodbye.
Okay.
Okay, thanks so much.
Bye.
All right,
Thank
bye.